So I swithered back and forth about whether to join Bout of Books 35. You know it's one of my favourite readathons, but also reading's not been great, readathons have not been great, and then I decided last minute I was going to jump on it. So welcome to my TBR and readathon reading vlog. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel every week and then movie reviews here at the weekend. I do love a Bout of Books readathon, and I will leave a playlist of my readathon reading vlogs linked up above in case you've missed any of them. I have to not go back and watch them because I'm like, oh my god, I read so much in those weeks and I spent all my time reading. It's really interesting watching my ones during lockdown and then sort of interesting watching ones that have been done in different locations, but I'm doing this one in my new location, and so yeah, we shall see what goes on. I have put 4 books on my TBR for this one, partly because I'm in the middle of a couple of them. I sort of had started them whilst on my holiday, and I was like, yes, I could save this one and do this one as part of the readathon. So I have been reading The Birdcage by Eve Chase. I do have a physical copy of this book, which I'm sure I will show in the vlog, and this is going to be a physical book that I'm reading. Then I have the audiobook, and these are all on my August TBR. If you have missed that, I will leave that linked up above as well. I have the audiobook of The Museum of Ordinary People by Gale, which is his latest release. I'm very excited to finally be reading this one. I sort of almost saved it for August because I knew I would have more time to read it in August. And then again, another one that is on my August TBR is Arrival Stories. This is women share their experiences of becoming mothers, and this I have on the Penguin Random House Volumes app, which is going away at the end of the month, and so I'm like, need to try and read some of those. And then another one which I have on the app, which is wasn't on my August TBR, but I felt like doing some more non-fiction and so decided to pick this one from the app, is Act Like a Lady. Questionable advice, ridiculous opinions and humiliating tales from 3 undignified women. Now, I had no idea who these women are. Well, I know one of them because I watched Glee, but I didn't know that they had a podcast or a TV show or anything like that. And they actually do have another book coming right out, and so it's quite apt that I'm reading this one as part of this readathon and reading vlog. But I thought I'll just put those 4 on here and then we'll just see what happens. So yeah, I will leave you with that footage of just seeing what happens. Enjoy. Hello. So it is Wednesday and the readathon did start on Monday, and this is me just picking up the camera to vlog now, but did just get back from holiday, so this is why I haven't vlogged anything so far. However, I have been doing some reading this week. So in terms of an actual physical book that we have for the readathon, we have The Birdcage by Eve Chase. I don't think it's up by the time you're watching this video, but I do have an event vlog that features some Eve Chase in there, and I also met her at the Harrogate International Crime Festival, and so I am reading this one. I have read so far 65 pages. There was just a big twist at the end of the last chapter, and I am loving my lobster bookmark that I've been using as well, making me feel very coastal, which was appropriate since I did spend part of the week in Aberdeen, so it was very appropriate. I've also been listening to Act Like a Lady, which is one of the ones on the Penguin Random House Volumes app that's disappearing at the end of August that I hadn't listened to yet. And I think there's probably a reason I hadn't listened to it, because I cannot find it anywhere else. So I can literally just find it on that app. I can't find it on my library app. I even had trouble finding the actual book on Amazon, even though they have a new book either just out or just coming out, so that's interesting. I've not heard of this lady gang at all, but I liked the sound of the book when I saw it on the Penguin Random House Volumes app. So I'm just running a bath at the minute, so we're going to get into the bath, might read some physical book, might listen to that. I've also started listening to Gale's Museum of Ordinary People, so that's going to be featured this week. And then I have a couple that have just come in on NetGalley that were not on my TBR, of only 4 books anyway, but yeah, one of those could also be a contender, so we shall see how we get on. But just to kind of update you on that. And then yeah, let's go do some very classic Katrina readathon, reading in the bath. I can't believe it's Bout of Books 35. Cannot believe that. How many different locations have I done Bout of Books in? Right, let's do this, some reading in this iridescent bath. So I nearly finished my audiobook in the bath. So I'm going to read a couple of chapters of this before bed and then put my audiobook in to go to sleep to. Very exciting. Just a reminder, this is what we're reading. It's so beautiful, isn't it? I read to page 105 last night. I don't think that 40 pages before bed and finishing my audiobook is bad going, really. So I'm glad I decided to join it. So just had a little reading break to go and get some lunch, and then ironically take part in book group. But I am on page 175 of the Birdcage. Obviously, going to book group, I got suggestions of some more books, so one might have been added into the mix of a possibility of getting read this week, so that's exciting. So I'll keep you updated on that front. But yeah, I think gonna do some more physical reading just now. I'll still have eyes that are awake, and then get back to audio later on tonight. I don't know whether to switch into the Museum of Ordinary People audio or go over to I've got it here, I've got my Goodreads open as we vlog, the Zabars audiobook that Ollie and I tried listening to together, but he wasn't into it. But I don't know if I want to persist a little bit more. I'm not quite halfway through that one and it's dragging a little bit, but we're now up to wartime, so that's a bit better. But I'm trying to think what else I put on my TBR. Let's just go and visit my blog. Oh yes, I've got another non-fiction is Arrival Stories. So maybe that one, or maybe, yeah, do some non-fiction audiobook with Ollie. I'm also considering buying the audiobook of Girl Crush by Florence Given. So even though I've pre-ordered the signed special edition and it came out a week and a half ago, I still don't have it. So I'm considering just getting the audio of it. But we shall see. I don't know. We shall see. I feel like a readathon calls for breaking this mug out, and I'm very excited to be breaking this coffee out too. Very excited. So I was up until after 1 a.m, which is apparently not a good idea for me to develop this in the end stage of the summer holidays. But hey, I did finish my Zabars audiobook, so that's 3 audiobooks finished this week, which I don't think is bad at all. And I am going to make this coffee and then get back into bed with the Birdcage and read some more of that, because nothing is more delightful than reading in bed in the morning with coffee, and nothing says summer holiday more than reading in bed with coffee. So I'm just excited about that. But I thought I would update you on the fact that I had read my audiobook. It definitely got more interesting, I think, when Ollie was listening with me. We're in the sort of introductory beginning stages of it, and so I think it definitely did improve. But I think we've listened to better books about sort of that era of New York, and also about food establishments. So I finished the Birdcage, so that's the 4th book of the week. That's really not bad, considering the fact that I was like, oh, I don't know how much I'm going to get read this week. We're semi on holiday, Ollie's off, like, don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, there was some secrets there, lots of secrets. I thought it was going to be more sort of thriller crimey. I thought that something else bad might happen. But yeah, so if you're worried about picking that one up because it's in the like thriller / crime category, don't be. It's not too bad. But now we're going to go off for lunch, and then we're going into London tonight despite the tube strikes. I'm going to cinema, Ollie's going to a gig, so probably less reading involved, but maybe audiobook on the way, who knows. This is such a fancy cinema. So fancy. So just got back from London, my trip to the cinema, Ollie's gig, and I think it was ironic that I just finished a book set in Cornwall today and then immediately went to see a movie set in Cornwall. Morning. No more reading got done last night, unsurprisingly. I think I probably could have listened to something in bed for a little bit, but I just didn't. I am struggling to think of what I want to read next, not because I don't have anything to read next. As always, I have too much to read next. So I'm partway into the Museum of Ordinary People, and so that is the logical thing to read next. It's on my TBR, it's on my August TBR, but then I also received a NetGalley review copy of Girlfriends by Holly Bourne, which comes out on the 8th of September. So it would make sense if I read that before going back to school. And that's an ebook, which I might have time to do some ebook reading this morning. About to make coffee and breakfast, sit and read some ebook. So I might start that, but then I've been really enjoying the non-fiction. And so I'm like, well, I have Arrival Stories on my TBR. The audiobook of that one returns to the library fairly soon, and it's quite short, so I will probably listen to all of it today. So I'm a bit like torn. I think ultimately I might aim to read all 3 this weekend, but it's just what to pick up next. I suppose whilst I'm making my coffee and my bagel, I could put Arrival Stories on because non-fiction is easier to listen to whilst you're doing other things. And then sit down and sit down and have my coffee and read my ebook. Let's do that. Let's see how we're going with that. Yes, excitingly though, today is new sofa day. I'm very excited, and that means I can sit and make videos from my new sofa as well. So yes, looking forward to that. Need to put some laundry away, so I've actually got room to put the sofa in. But it'll be fine, it'll be great. The new sofa is here, and she is beautiful. She fits in the space perfectly, and we have toasted her arrival. So we just watched the Woodstock 99 documentary on Netflix. Really good. We binged all 3 parts all at once whilst having dinner. Definitely recommend it. Not going to be doing a full movie review, but that's what was stopping me from reading. So we got about an hour before we need to go out. And so I am going to read for an hour. It's 19:55 just now. I've been loving the new Holly Bourne, which comes out on the 8th of September. And yeah, let's see how much I can read. Let me check what percentage I'm at. Only at 18%. Feels like I'm a lot further in because quite a lot's happened. But I was reading it when the sofa arrived, and so that's why I stopped. And then when I was sort of tidying up and things before that, I was listening to audiobooks. Speaking of which, I am 60% of the way through Arrival Stories. I'm listening on overdrive, and therefore it's like I'm finished part 3 of 5, so I've got 4 of 5 and 5 of 5, hence why I know I am 60% of the way through. So probably will end up finishing that before bed tonight. However, having a fiction audiobook and a fiction ebook on the go sometimes isn't a good idea for me, so we may not start the new Gale. I did not finish because I did already start it. I don't know, we shall see. Anyway, I'm at 18%. Got about an hour, so let's see what we can read. I didn't realise it had got quite so dark. I was reading on the iPad and it was like lighting it up, and I'm like, well, yeah, fully dark now. I read to 32%, great number. And so that means I read 14% more. So I'm going to try and remember to update that on Goodreads. And yeah, we'll see what else I read this evening. It's I'm getting quite worried for our sort of main character in the book. Watching that Woodstock documentary was making me very worried, and then reading the book is making me a little bit worried. I'm like, maybe I should listen to or watch or read something a little lighter where I won't be worried about somebody. It's finally time for coffee. Good morning, just fresh out the shower. I can't believe I showered before coffee. I finished Arrival Stories last night and I got to 44% of Girlfriends by Holly Bourne, which means, so I've read Act Like a Lady, The Comfort Book, the Zabars book, the Birdcage, Arrival Stories, and whilst getting bits and bobs ready this morning, I was getting back into the Museum of Ordinary People because I started it way before I've like gone back quite a bit, so we're just listening to that. And then if I finish Girlfriends today, that will mean that I have read 7 books in 7 days, which is what I like to do in a Bout of Books readathon. If you've been following the channel for a while, I had no idea or no notion that that would happen this week. I didn't think I would have the time to do it. I was just like, oh, I want to take part in the readathon and vlog the process just to motivate me to do any reading. I put 4 books on my TBR, but 2 of them I'd already started. No, 3 of them I'd already started, and Arrival Stories was reasonably short. But yeah, I'm really impressed with that. In terms of like the impact on my August reading as well, it means that there's obviously the one that I'm waiting for that I pre-ordered that's been out for like 2 weeks now and I haven't got my hands on, so I'm just probably going to buy the Audible. And then yeah, in terms of the actual impact on my August reading, I think I'll like smash my August TBR, which is awesome. You know, August is generally a good month for me, but I wasn't sure this year, with it being my first like summer back teaching, whether it would be the same or not. But I guess there's just something in the water in August, because today's the 21st. I've got another week off of school before I go back, and even then the last like couple of days that I go back is still the end of August, and so I'll be listening to audiobook in the car. If there's no one else in my classroom, I could listen to audiobook in my classroom. But yeah, that's been a long piece to camera this morning. I have got my we need to plunge it, actually. Let's plunge it together. So I've got my French toast Bones coffee again. I don't really have time to make cafetiere coffee in the week during term time, and so it's been like, oh, let's get back to my ground coffees again. I missed them, and I'm like, I want to order more Bones, but if I order more Bones, by the time they come it will be back into term time again, and I probably won't have time to drink them. Oh, it's so good. I miss my coffee maker. I miss it a lot. Yeah, R.I.P. Mr. Coffee. Let's do some reading. So I got to 61% in Girlfriends. So now I'm going to remain here and film my movie review videos. I have 2 to film, and if you're seeing this, I will make sure that the most recent one is in the end screen for you, or linked up above. So if you are looking for my movie reviews, they will be up. You got it all inside of you. Feel it to be true. And when you dance, I'm in the group. You make me. So just running a bath because my Kindle tells me that I've got basically an hour and a half left of ebook. and it's 9 o'clock just now, so that'll take me to a nice bedtime, and then I will get into bed and listen to the rest of my audiobook to finish out the readathon. I thought I was going to be able to show you my Nespresso capsules since I did next day delivery, and last time I did next day delivery and it was a Sunday, they came, so I'm kind of gutted I sort of forgot to order them on Friday, because they would have got here on Saturday then, along with my sofa. But yeah, we spent some time rearranging the living room this afternoon, and so we're quite happy with the way it looks now. So you'll see another new background coming your way as we sort of wrap up this vlog. But yeah, gonna get into the bath and finish off finish off ebook, and then finish off audiobook in bed. It's going to be a lovely end to the readathon, and I will let you know what I think of both once I'm done. So there you have it. There's everything I read during Bout of Books 35. Let's go over page count. So I read Girlfriends by Holly Bourne, which I am thinking of making a full standalone review of. So if that's already up, I will leave it linked up above. If not, keep an eye out for that. / let me know if you want to see it. This came in at 448 pages, and I read this as an ebook. I sat down and I read it as an ebook. I'm so proud of myself. It's so nice having the brain capacity to actually sit down and read. And then as an audiobook, now some of these I have got the page counts from Amazon and Goodreads, and they back each other up, but I'm like, I don't believe that some of these were the same length as each other, but hey, we're just going with it. I listened to The Comfort Book by Matt Haig. This is the audiobook cover, but there was an independent bookshop version cover, which I think is much prettier, and I enjoyed that one. This one was apparently 271 pages. However, that one was 3 hours and something long, and then this next one was a normal length audiobook, 9 hours or something wrong, and apparently this one was less pages. So this is Zabars, a family story with recipes by Laurie Zabar, which I listened to on audiobook as well, and I'm like, but this was so much longer than the other one, but apparently only 240 pages. I don't know, maybe there's a version knocking around without recipes in it, or maybe, I don't know, I couldn't even say that, it had pictures in, because I did the audiobook. But anyway, yep, so we've got a fiction and 2 non-fiction so far, quite different non-fiction, and then one more non-fiction, and this was actually on my TBR, and again, apparently this was the same length as the Zabars book, but again, this one was 3 hours or 5 hours or something, and the Zabars one was 9. So arrival stories, women share their experiences of becoming mothers. Amy Schumer, Christy Turlington, 240 pages apparently. And then switching over to fiction, again something else that was actually on the TBR, coming in at 362 pages, we have The Museum of Ordinary People by Gale. And then switching back to non-fiction, before I go and get an actual physical book that I have, that again I read as a physical book. So exciting. Another audiobook though first, apparently 288 pages, but again this one came in longer time wise than Arrival Stories or The Comfort Book. So again, don't believe that that is true. This one is Act Like a Lady, by Questionable Advice, Ridiculous Opinions and Humiliating Tales from 3 Undignified Women, Kelsey Knight, Becca Tobin and Jay Vennick. And this one is based on a podcast that I'd never heard of before. They also have a TV show that I'd never heard of before, and they have a new book that's either just come out or is just coming out. And then let me grab my one physical book, which came in at 400 pages, and then we'll have the grand page count total. This one even still has my bookmark in it, but this is The Birdcage by Eve Chase. Isn't it glorious? Look at it shimmer a little bit. And this one comes in at 400 pages, and I do have event vlog footage / a picture of an event that I went to, because this one is signed for me. And this is the one that I read. This one came in my suitcase with me on holiday, because as you know, this vlog started whilst we were still on holiday. So altogether, I managed a 7 in 7, which I wasn't even aiming to do. I was just like, let's put some audiobooks on the TBR, because we're away, we're in the car, we can listen to audiobooks. But yeah, a 7 in 7, which is my usual Bout of Books aim, but did not expect that this week. I read, 2 fiction and 5 non-fiction? Is that right? No, 3 fiction and 4 non-fiction. But in terms of page count, my fiction page count was bigger, so that's interesting. And yeah, altogether that is, sorry, my page count is like down here, 2,239 pages. As I say, questionable with some of them, at least with my physical book. I can check on my page count, but yeah, I think that it was I mean, Bout of Books is always low-key anyway, but I didn't have any sort of high expectations of myself for this one. I didn't have any like, oh, I want to do 7 in 7, or here's like a bunch of books that I've got to choose from. Just like, here's 4 books I quite like to read. All but one of them were already on my August TBR. And so, yeah, I'm really impressed. I read a mixture. I did, you know, 1 physical book, 1 ebook, and 5 audiobooks, which again is better than my usual balance that I've currently got going on with my reading at the minute of all audiobooks. So it was nice just to sit down and do some reading. I enjoyed my reading in bed in the mornings. Obviously that's not something I can do when I'm normally working and going to school, because I have to get out of bed and get dressed in another room because Ollie doesn't wake up until at least 2 hours after me. So that was a real privilege, and that's what made the readathon a lot of fun for me. But then also, yeah, seeing the variety of stuff that I read and the amount of stuff that I read as well. So yeah, whilst I didn't do any of the challenges or pictures or take part in any of the chats, I just enjoyed vlogging the process, keeping myself accountable, and then, you know, writing and filming this wrap up as well. So I hope you have enjoyed. It's been interesting looking back on previous readathons from this time in years gone past and noting the difference. I'm not, you know, judging myself against myself, but it's always interesting noting the difference. So let me know if you've been following for a while, what differences you see between those readathons. Let me know if you took part, and if there's any readathons coming up that are just as low-key that I should be taking part in and vlogging for you here on this channel. I will be back with more bookish videos for you very soon, so make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on my movie review coming up this weekend. As always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you with my next video. Thanks for watching.